here. Friends of Barnabas is an organization that Joe and I have been. This close. Friends of Barnabas is an organization that Joe and I have been working with, I guess, since about 2016. They are a group out of Virginia, although it's become very, very all over the country. But anyway, they work down in Honduras, delivering basic primary care to various communities in the mountains. We've got two things. One is kind of an introduction that would be much better than anything I could do. And the other is actually our last week that we were there in March, and several of the participants are here, and we're going to let them kind of tell you what that meant. Obviously, Joe and I are really taken with this organization, and I'm going to let you all watch these videos.
Friends of Barnabas was established in 2000 when Reverend Linwood Cook felt a call to serve the rural communities in Honduras. What started off as a couple of trips a year to dispense vitamins and anti-parasite medication has grown into a permanent clinic in Honduras known as the Barnabas House, which provides year-round services to children with special medical needs. Friends of Barnabas has continued to send teams of volunteers to Honduras, known as mountain medical teams, and the services provided by these teams have increased to include full medical clinics, vision screenings, dental procedures, and health-related education. In this video, we'll give you a glimpse into what our teams do. Join us as the team arrives in the community of El Porvenir. This community was founded in 1940, and while there is electricity, most of the homes do not have running water or plumbing. In addition to the clinics provided by our traveling teams, our staff community health nurse educators also provide monthly health education sessions. Some topics include maternal health, environmental health, preventative health, and once the pandemic started, they received COVID prevention education and hygiene kits. Now let's follow one of our patients through the clinic. Meet 5-year-old Johnny. He's a little boy in the orange shirt. After visiting the registration table, Johnny and his family head over to get vitamins and anti-parasite medication. Next, they go over to our weights and measures station where his weight and height are charted to evaluate his growth and development. He then visits the vision screening clinic in order to catch any abnormalities early. His mother and little sister join him in the general medical clinic where they are evaluated by a medical professional. Due to his developmental delays and a history of seizures, Johnny is referred to our extended care program where Friends of Barnabas will set up appointments with a neurologist, provide him with medications, educate his parents on his conditions, and provide nutritional support. After being enrolled into the program by FOB staff physician, Johnny is given a coloring book that teaches him about good nutrition. What makes Friends of Barnabas different from other medical mission groups is our focus on health education while a team is in the country and throughout the year, and our ability to provide ongoing follow-up care for children who have medical needs beyond the care that can be provided in a day-long clinic. We do this because we believe all people in Honduras should have access to quality health care, and we believe that all children deserve an opportunity to thrive.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Powell. I'm a pediatrician from Richmond, Virginia. I've been on 3 mountain medical missions with Friends of Barnabas. One of the reasons that I chose to keep coming back to Friends of Barnabas is that we are making a sustainable difference in the communities in Honduras. Lots of people ask, are you just going to stay for a week and put a quick fix on a huge problem? No. What we're doing here is sustaining change. We're educating families, we're educating communities, and those changes are reinforced throughout the year. So even after the mountain medical teams visit to the communities, we continue to go on and reinforce with these families everything that they've learned. We are making real change here that has a lasting impact for the communities in Honduras, and most importantly, we are making a sustainable and measurable difference for the children of Honduras.
Friends of Barnabas was
There we go. Yeah, so the next video, Giovanni is our bus driver, and he takes pictures and makes this video at the end of the week. And so you'll see all of us that were there. You'll see pictures, but I just think you get a real sense of what the week really looks like, at least as best you can through photos. And then we'll let everybody who was on the team talk.
There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning and some dark and cold. And there is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle and makes his home. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, confused and torn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and worn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. Whose hearts are blazing, so let's raise our candles and light up the sky, praying to our Father in the name of Jesus. Make us a beacon in darkest times. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, deceived and poor, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light light your world. There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning and some dark and cold. And there is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle and makes his home. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, confused and torn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle.
Okay. Does this work? Yeah. Okay, so we've got all the team members that came from the Concord, Charlotte area, and I just thought that I would let everybody come up and kind of give their feelings. The video from our week really brings back a lot of memories, at least for me. So I don't know, who wants to come up and go first?
It's so much fun. Since I have the magic mic, thank you, Dr. Stegman. Debbie and Joe spoke to me about Friends of Barnabas about, 5 years ago? And as you heard in my sermon today, I've been on other mission trips and worked around medical mission trips. What was different about this program, what I really appreciated, is that it is ongoing. There's something that's happening in between the time that we're there. I don't have a medical degree and I don't play a doctor on television, so what was I doing on a medical mission trip? Well, my contribution was for spiritual health and also weights and measures. If you track a child's weight and height, head circumference for infants, then you can have an idea of whether they are getting adequate nutrition and then be able to make interventions. Sadly, one family that we dealt with, all the children were behind, and so they were able to be hooked up with a doctor that will be able to see them in between. That's going to change the trajectory of their life. That is making a difference. Friends of Barnabas medical teams are there every month. They work with the community for 3 years, twice a year, and the hope is after that time that they are set on a sustainable course, and they monitor, and if they have to go back in, they do. One of the communities that we were with was in that situation. It used to be that if a child needed a cardiac surgery, they had to wait for a pediatric cardiologist to come down. Because of their work, there is a pediatric cardiologist now, a native Honduran, who is there able to take those references. Because of their work, there is someone who's able to deal with the developmental needs of children that are not progressing. And in that building that you saw with the big red roof, that there are gatherings of families that need this kind of support. If they need to come in and stay overnight, there is the possibility of that happening. So it's an ongoing program and a true blessing. So for those watching online, I hope that you'll think about Friends of Barnabas. And come on, Dennis. So they didn't talk about dentists, but if you have a dental problem, it used to be, well, extract. But now, about half of those cases, because of dedicated dentists, like Dr. Lockney, are able to get cavities filled and keep their teeth, which is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Dennis, the dentist. Just to make it easy. I approach this from a little different standpoint, that in the winter, when the days get smaller and it's darker, I start to get a little depressed. And then in March, we get to go on this wonderful trip, and I'm around such terrific people and part of something bigger than myself, giving something back. Man, I never felt so good. So for me, it's better than Prozac. Well, not sure, but anyway, the opportunity to do this was just so fantastic. And Joe and Debbie, thanks for the opportunity to do that. And I'll pass to Dr. Sherry. Our other favorite pediatrician.
Oh, thanks. Oh, gosh. I'm Sharon Sullivan. I'm a pediatrician in Charlotte, and I go to St. Margaret's Episcopal. I know Dr. Stegman from years of pediatric work. And I went on the trip last March for the first time. That was my first medical mission. I've done the Costa Rica EYC trips, but never did a medical mission. And it was life-changing. I will definitely go back. What drew me to this organization is how much they do in between these medical mission trips, and that the ongoing care they provide is just remarkable. They trained NICU nurses recently in how to resuscitate babies. It's just really an ongoing program, and that's what I loved about it. I didn't want to drop into a country for a week and put a Band-Aid on something and then leave, and then they're left there without the help they need. So that's what I was really most impressed with. And watching that video just brought back so many memories, and I miss those families and those children, and I can't wait to go back and see them. So, Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. So I'm going to kind of speak more to the nursing / non-medical people. So you've heard from the doctors, and of course they do their thing, but the nurses, they act like a primary care as well. They're a primary care provider. We give basic medical health care. This is the stuff that we go to Walgreens or CVS for: Tylenol, Tums, simple things that we take for granted that they do not have access to. So really, it is not the intense medical. You don't need medical knowledge. This is basic health needs that need to be met. That is what we help them with. Non-medical people, again, there's so many jobs for non-medical that it takes a village to kind of give this care to all of the people. I've gone on 2 of the medical mission trips now, and each one has been more amazing than the next. the people, the groups, the Honduran team is amazing, and they are just a family that when you go down there and you see them again, you're like, I'm home. It's an amazing opportunity to be able to do. I encourage anybody with the time and the want to help to come and help. Again, I mean, non-medical, medical, it does not matter at all. We can use all the help we can get.
Ditto to everything that they said. It is a really, really great organization. There's one thing that I think that really sets it apart, and it was the first thing that appealed to me way back when we started going down there, and that's what we talk a lot about. There's a lot of ongoing work done when we're not in the country. The Honduran team is as large, or maybe larger. They're in place all the time down there. You've got a nurse educator, you've got a social worker, you've got a couple of administrative people that just make things run. You have a house staff there who takes care of us very, very well. And so so if you wonder how does this happen, there is a big team down there. One of the things we always enjoy is you've got an interpreter with you, and these are usually younger people. Of course, everybody's younger than we are anymore, but they're fun. They're young for the most part, and they're with you, and it's great. You get a whole different perspective. While I am a nurse by training, I do not do that. I do non-medical stuff, and I stay busy. It's kind of strange things that you do, but I stay busy. What else? That's all. It's just a really great organization. The teams all come together. And there's just a lot of good work being done down there that as Americans, we just kind of wink at things that we just take for granted, that just happen so easily here. And it's not as easy for too many of these people. It's always a wonderful experience to go into a village or a community for the last visit. And if you're lucky, you'll be in a village that it's only their first or second visit. And that warms your heart. You know what this organization is doing. So, with that.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I would just say, just to dovetail on what Debbie said, we have been the first team to assess a village and seen what things were like there. We have also been the last team to say goodbye to a village. And the difference in the health when these kids have had vitamins for 3 to 5 years, when they've had education about health, the health of the children, even it changes the communities. The one that we were the last screening visitors for them, they had electricity in the school, and the school actually had internet. So these schools, it's a 1 room, or maybe 2 or 3 room schoolhouses, but it's what they call their kinder. So it's K through 5. That's really all that they get in these communities. To be able to go on higher education, you've got to have transportation, you've got to get yourself there. But this community had 70% of their kids now were going on to secondary education. That's just unheard of in these mountain communities. So it not only changes the health, it changes the education of the community leaders, and you can actually see the communities change over time. So it's been very rewarding for us, and we're planning to go back again in March. So we really were going to leave the rest of the time for questions. if there were any. Yeah. The name, I don't know that I can do that. Can you do it? Ah, there we go.
So Barnabas is somebody we don't know a lot about, as in the general discussion in Christianity, but the early church knew a lot about, and here's why. After Jesus died and was raised, what we hear is that his disciples continued to go to the temple. Jesus was teaching in the temple right before he died. After he was raised, the disciples continued to go back to the temple. And they continue to do that until Barnabas steps up and says, maybe there are others who need to hear this good news. And Barnabas is the one who winds up taking people up to Antioch, and from there, Christianity begins to spread outside of Jerusalem. So I think Friends of Barnabas are those who are willing to go outside of where you are, outside of what you know, outside of what you are comfortable with, and bring some good news. And the piece that I think is really important, and Barnabas knew, you can tell he was listening when Jesus was speaking, because Jesus said in Matthew 25, if you want to see me, you're going to see me on the face of those who are hungry, those who don't have a place to call home, those who are in prison, those who don't have anything to wear. Barnabas knew that he wasn't only taking the good news, he was going to find Jesus. And I certainly can say I saw Jesus every day, many times a day in this opportunity. So,
Are there other questions? Thank you, that was good. I couldn't have done that. Are there other questions? Sir?
So are you looking to build, so what can we do as All Saints?
Well, certainly, Debbie and I would like to see, because there's a team going every month, and the teams come from all over the country. The team that we have joined in March was about half from Concord, Charlotte, and the other half, some were from New York and some were from Virginia. We would love to see a team go from North Carolina, from right here, every single year, and to take one of the months. That's what we would like to see. I don't know that that will happen. It starts one person at a time, so we had 6 go, and the teams are usually 12 to 14. There have been other people from Concord, 2, 4, I guess 5 other people from Concord have gone on other teams. So we're always looking for new members, people who are interested in having the experience. So that would be our goal.
The other thing is these teams go every month, and a lot of times Joe and I, this was a real treat to have a lot of people from our area with us. But sometimes the only people we know when we go down there are Joe and I and the staff, at the house. So that, yeah, we're going to go back in March, but there's 11 other months, and it wouldn't be uncomfortable. It's not like you're going to be going into a team that everybody knows each other, and they've been doing this for years. People come from all over the country. So.
Also, just to add to that, we know that there's many people who can't physically go or cannot be there. So, I mean, fundraising is always a big deal. So for each trip, we do have to raise the amount of money to pay for the vitamins, the medications, supplies, and everything. Each month, there is, what, 13,000? 11, no, 13. Each team has to raise $13,000 about. So, of course, fundraising is a big thing. I'm guessing we're going to do another pie sale. That's That's our big part that we put forth. So, I mean, buying the pies and any donations that can go to the team, it goes directly to Honduras, to these people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's another way people support. I mean, so Friends of Barnabas has a lot of different things, and if you go on the website, we're just focusing on the Mountain Medical mission because that's what we're involved in. But they do have, they have a whole developmental program. That's really how I met them. They did a medical conference in San Pedro Sula for all the primary care physicians in the country, and that's how I went. I was a speaker there on developmental disabilities for children, and spent the day with the primary care, and then I went back a year later and did that twice with primary care physicians of San Pedro Sula. The NICU program, Nancy mentioned that. The Little Hearts program, which is started out with having Friends of Barnabas would bring a pediatric cardiac surgeon once a year to do the babies, and then they would finally got somebody trained who would come on a regular basis. Now they have somebody there all the time. So these are programs that kind of have rolled off onto their own and but things that Friends of Barnabas has done. Currently, there's a community program where someone supports a community for things to enhance that, whether that's helping with clean water, whether that's helping with something at the school, or just helping making up the medication. So once we have somebody trained in these communities to be their health person, then that person needs supplies. They need, little splints, maybe some medications, things that they can have as their emergency medical, as their urgent care. And so I think it costs about, it's a 3-year program. You have to agree to take care of the community for 3 years in a row, and I think it's $3,500 so that's another part. There's tons of things that Friends of Barnabas is doing, and the website would explain all this, but what we focused on is the mountain medical teams. Any other questions?
Can you say anything about the interaction between you and the people there? That is, the people who you're treating. You probably have some stories about Jimmy or Steve or Juan.
Sure. I mean, we could talk about a lot of stories. There's always some interesting stories. So, so you get to know the communities and the people in the communities, particularly the Honduran staff. So they know a lot about what's going on in the communities. But our interaction, we typically see 50 families a day when we do a clinic. So if you're talking about anywhere from 2, 3, 7, 8 people in a family, oftentimes these are multi-generational families, so you might have a grandparent and parents and 3 to 5 kids. So, and we see them in family units. So you get to interact with the family. I think for the people in the medical room, we don't have as much interaction because we're really busy, and I would say Dennis probably has the same thing. People who do registration, they have a lot more involvement with the people. I don't know, does anybody else want to say anything about that? Interaction with the kids and...
So the interaction with the families. So, I mean, basically, these people are there all day. So once we get there in the morning, they're there waiting for us, and they're there all day. And it does take time, especially in the medical room. It takes time to see each of these families, hear their complaints, hear what's going on, hear what they need, give them what they need. So the medical team really stays busy, but once the weights and measures, vitamins and everything, they're very busy, but they get to have fun with the kids. Like, they get to play with the kids. The device that Nancy had this morning, she got the idea from one of our teammates who brought it, and just played with the kids. And you'd be amazed that if you don't even speak the language, but you get to interact with them. You know, through the translators, you can talk to people. So, I mean, you really get a feel for how these people are and how they live day to day. It's impressive. It's fun to just sit back and watch the kids. It's fun to interact with the kids. That's the best part, I think. But then you hear the stories of couples who've been together for 40, 50 years, and only the wife is able to come because the husband is disabled and he can't come because you have to be able to walk several miles to get to the area. So just hearing her experience and everything and kind of all that, it really touches you.
Yeah, we also do, oh, Sharon's going to say something else. We also, we all are given a cross that we wear. And so there's a lot of spiritual things that happen throughout the week, and that's probably not my forte to talk much about, but we do. And if someone touches us, the plan is that you take the cross off and you give that to them. So there are tons of stories where someone's moved, and we review those every night and talk about those. And I mean, there's some medical things that happen too. You know, I'll just say this was not this past visit in March, but a previous trip, I don't even remember which one, but there was a kid who was not walking, and I think he was 14, he might have been 17 or 18 months. Obviously there was a problem, and so, you know, the concern, I did not see them. It wasn't a family that I actually saw, but I was asked to see the kid afterwards just to kind of, anyway, the bottom line is the kid had a dislocated hip. You know, so he was developmentally fine otherwise. And Friends of Barnabas can get that hip fixed. That kid will walk. So you know, so those are we don't have tons of experiences like that. I would say most weeks maybe one that I think maybe something, you know, maybe a heart that we know we can fix or something, but it's not a lot of that, but there are some. So you know, you do what's brought before you. Sharon?
I was just going to say that the people are so grateful and so kind and loving. And what amazed me is they walk a mile or two through dirt roads to get there. And their children are dressed to the nines. The boys' hair is combed, the little girls are in their fun little twirling dresses, and they really come for the day. And sometimes they're making food there off to the side for their families and everything. But they're just so grateful for what we provide for them. And it's just an incredible experience. And we are making a difference. It may not be a huge life-altering thing where a child can walk again, but even just spending time and listening to them, I think, makes a big difference in their lives.
Yeah, I think, anything else, anybody? We missed anything? Think not? Yeah, great.
Might make Dennis talk about this. Anyway, one of the things that I've seen that it's been a real an increase in services, it's been the dental. When I first went down there, basically, it was just pulling teeth. And then the next time, and also then one of the non-medical people can do paint fluoride and that kind of thing and do some, anyway. And then we had one machine, and I don't know what it's called, and they could do fillings, and now they've got two machines. So, I mean, whereas you used to have, everybody just got their teeth pulled, now the dental can really do a lot more, because we've got these two machines with us. So, do you want to say anything about that?
Thank you, Debbie. Well, just briefly, you've heard life-changing stuff that we get to see and do. And I know when I was there, there was this one little girl peeping in through the window, kind of like Kilroy was here. And later on, she would be inside, not far inside, just barely inside. And later on still, later in the week, Debbie actually came and helped me pull teeth and stuff. So I just say that, this little girl's not scared anymore. I just think what a tremendous thing.
Yeah, so the other thing I want to just say is the magnitude of what this visit. So you saw the bus going down that road, and you also saw the bus get stuck in the mud. That really happened. That was us. That was our week. But we have to take a generator for this equipment. We have to take an extranet so we have electronic medical record. There isn't cell service there. There isn't a Wi-Fi password to get on. We take our own extranet, I think is what they call it, and then once we get back to the compound, then everything is uploaded into the EMR system. So that allows us to follow. So as we go back to this community, we can follow the growth of these kids. Oops, something's happened. This kid's not okay. So all the parameters, the things that we do in primary care here, we now can do in Honduras. So it's a huge thing. We saw the bus. There are 2 trucks full of equipment that go. The back of that bus is full, and plus we always have our armed guards with us so that we're safe. So, it's an entourage going up these mountain roads. So we leave early in the morning. Sometimes it's a couple-hour bus ride to and from. Sometimes not so far. But anyway, any last words? All right, well, thank you for listening. Yeah.